Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. And today we have 3 great stories, so let's get started. Think I work here and demand me to move 30 bags of concrete? Okay. Before starting this story, this will involve a bit of r/petty revenge and r/malicious compliance, along with the side of the promised r/IDontWorkHereLady. So I live in Australia, and we have a supply chain of hardware stores here called Bunnings Warehouse. Picture a hardware store for everyone, both tradesmen and your average Joe. I was a teenager at the time, and I was dressed in work clothes. I was working for a carpenter at the time, steel cap boots, work pants, the whole deal. Most importantly, though, was my work shirt. My company uses a black button-up shirt, short-sleeved and collared. Search FXD SSH1 if you're interested. My company also had our logos plastered all over these things. Now, for privacy reasons, I can't show you the logos, but these are the base shirts. Now, the people who work at this hardware store, they wear red polo shirts with green writing, the logo for their company. Also, if you're interested, search Bunnings Warehouse Uniform. Now, I was riding shotgun with my boss. He'd gone to the store while I was in the timber yard collecting some bags of concrete for the footings we were about to put in. I was moving some of the bags, one at a time, to my boss's work truck. These bags aren't overwhelmingly heavy, 20 kilograms or 45 pounds for the imperial readers, but I was only moving one at a time. The walk wasn't far, and this was at the start of the day. Last thing I wanted to do was injure myself before the real work had even started. It was my 6th bag out of 13 when this man came up to me. Just your average DIYer, certainly not a tradesman, just your average bloke, 50s, balding, wanted to show off that they could successfully screw together a garden shed. He was just staring at the pile of concrete bags. For context, there are several different kinds of concrete for different purposes. Rapid set, mortar, cement, etc. He then asked me what concrete he should use to put in some fence posts. I told him I would be looking at the rapid set. It'd suit his needs perfectly, considering he needed to ask what kind of concrete. I imagined that he hadn't actually done any sort of work like this before. So I gave him the lowdown: dig your hole, pour the bag directly into the hole, wet it with your hose, dome it off. Pretty simple. So he said thanks. No issues here, so I grabbed my next bag and began to take it to the truck. Here's where the fun begins. What? Where are you going? He asks. Now I'm quite confused at this point, and I respond with, "Oh, I'm going to go put these bags in the back of that truck. Is that a problem?" He replies with, "Mate, my car isn't over there. I'm the white Camry over there." It's always the dudes in the white Camry at Bunnings. Any tradesman who goes to Bunnings knows exactly the guy I'm talking about. Anyway, I stand there trying to figure out what's going on. "Well?" he asks. I figure out that he thinks I work there. "Oh, sorry, mate, I don't work here. I'm just getting concrete for my job, and I'm on a tight schedule. Sorry, mate." Now, usually, if I didn't have to be somewhere, I would have given anyone a hand. Moving these bags sucks. But he doesn't seem to believe me. "What? Look at you. Of course you work here. You got the right clothes and everything." I tried to reply, but he didn't really want to have any of it. He goes off and says as he's walking away, "You better have all 30 bags in my car before I get back. Step on it." Well, my dearest friend, be careful what you wish for. It didn't matter that I was busy. This was my new priority. Cue the malicious compliance, petty revenge part of my story. His exact words were, "You better have all 30 bags on my car before I get back." His car had a box trailer. I knew exactly what he meant, but no. No, sir. I tried to tell you otherwise. You didn't listen. I needed to move, so I started moving the bags 2 at a time and placed them all over his car. 12 on the bonnet, 6 on the trunk, and the rest perfectly layered on the roof. I see him walk out. He sees his car. This man's jaw hit the GD floor. He nearly had a heart attack. "My car! What the F have you done to my car?" I had a grin from ear to ear. "I put all 30 bags on your car, just like you asked." I was giggling like a toddler. Now, after much screaming, I told him to can it. He could move it himself. I was late as it was, and my boss was getting impatient. However, he watched this all, and he was laughing too. "Sorry, mate, I have to go to my actual job now, so you're going to have to move these yourself." He was not happy, but hey, at least the bags were now significantly closer to his car. He sucked it up and began to move them. I was walking back to my car when I heard him yell, "The thing about these bags of concrete is that if you don't support them underneath and just grab them from the sides, they tend to split clean down the middle, dumping all the contents of the bag in a messy pile directly underneath the bag. He'd split a bag clean down the middle while trying to take it off the roof. This thing spilled its contents all over the roof and windshield of his car. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He got the job done eventually, but not before splitting 3 more bags. His car was covered in concrete dust. I left him there, car covered in concrete, while he admitted defeat. This one's on you, Camry guy. This one's on you. I am her manager, but... So this happened about a week ago, and my colleague told me I should post it here because she thought you would find it funny. Hope you're happy, NK. I wasn't aware of this sub, so I made an account in order to do so. Sorry if I get anything wrong. I work a white-collar job and have a small group of employees who report to me. One of my direct reports, I'll call her NK, and I had a meeting with a prospective client at their office. Since our conference room smells like feet for some reason, and we were coming back from the meeting, we decided to stop in the coffee shop across the street from the office to compare notes. The place was crowded, so we found a 2-person high top in a corner, ordered 2 cups of coffee, and pulled out our laptops. After a while, we were done with our coffee, and NK had to use the restroom. So she offered to bring up our mugs and get us another cup. I said that was fine, but to get them to go since I didn't think we'd be there too much longer. I should probably mention that I'm dressed in a navy blue suit and tie. NK is wearing black pants, a dark gray top, and heels. She leaves with mugs in hand, and I start dealing with emails that have come in. The cafe is still busy, and the 2 baristas behind the counter are busy taking orders and getting people's drinks. I zoned out for a bit while answering emails, but was suddenly brought back to reality when I noticed that someone was standing right next to me. When I look up, I see that a woman who's been described as looking like a Karen on this sub, late 40s, that haircut, horrible taste in clothes, and NK standing behind her looking exasperated. The following conversation then took place. NK, here he is. Karen, your manager? Me, utterly confused. I'm sorry? Karen, are you her boss? Me, still no idea what's going on. Sure, we usually are referred to as team lead. Karen, whatever, I want her written up. We need our table wiped down, and she ignored me 3 times. I've never had an experience where a server has looked right at me, then just completely ignored me. Don't you have any pride in your customer service? I look behind her to NK, who's rolling her eyes as Karen speaks. When I look back to the table Karen gestured to, I see an older gentleman who's quietly sipping his coffee across from a giant handbag. At this point, things start to click for me. NK walked up to the counter and dropped off the mugs, then went to the restroom, after which she went back to the counter to order our second cups. Karen must have thought she worked there, since she was wearing darker colors, which is the standard uniform for a certain chain of coffee shops. However, this wasn't that coffee shop, and NK's clothes were obviously nice, go meet an important client type of clothes. And don't know many baristas wear heels on the job. Me. Well, we do value customer service, but cleaning tables isn't exactly her job, as I gesture towards the table with the laptops and reports laid on it. If you want someone to help you, you might ask someone behind the counter. Karen, who's a bit confused. She doesn't work here? Me? No, we work at Company X across the street. Karen, well, it's still rude to ignore people. Me, having had enough at this point. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we're in the middle of something. If you'd like to discuss it further, you can email me. I hand her my business card with an impressive but ultimately useless director title on it. Karen hesitates a bit longer as I make direct eye contact with her before turning away in a huff and heading back to what I'm assuming was her husband. Poor bastard. NK sets the coffees down and apologizes, which was unnecessary, but said that the woman grabbed her by the arm, almost spilling the coffee, and simply refused to believe that she didn't work there. So when she asked to see her manager, NK thought, fine, let's go. We were there for a few more minutes before we decided to pack up. As we were leaving, I looked over to Karen's table to see her giving us a death stare. I waved, she quickly looked away. Never did get an email about it. Anyway, that's my tale. I hope you enjoyed it as much as NK enjoyed hearing me tell it to the office. And as they say on the IT crowd, people, what a bunch of bastards. Clearly the oil technician, because I'm in line in a car. This was so weird. My mom and I still laugh, and it was a while back. This isn't a typical I don't work here, but this lady. My mom and I were going to lunch. She needed an oil change, so I decided to go with her before lunch. You wait in line in your car, kind of like a car wash. Typically, a 15-minute line with a 15-minute oil change was an hour-and-a-half line and a 15-minute oil change. This lady pulls in after we do, then gets out of her car and walks up to the car window. Yeah, is this the line? Yeah. Oh, okay. How long will it take? Don't know. We're third and there's cars already in there. Oh, okay. So she walks back to her car. Then 10 minutes later comes back. So if I go to the store shopping, can I just leave my keys in the car and you can tell them? Maybe because two people in our car, I'm like, dude, no, go ask them. I think she went in. Then she comes back. They said, no, I have to wait in my car. Yeah, well, how long do you think it'll take? They said, they don't know. Yep, that's what she said. My mom, that never snaps and is way nicer than me, I don't know. I don't work here. Go ask them. If they don't know either, then I don't know. I told my mom to just stop rolling down the window. The line moves forward and her car doesn't, so people go around her. We thought she fell asleep. My mom, being nice, told the oil technicians, and one went to knock on her window. She wasn't in there. Then when we were leaving, they were done, and she was standing in the garage holding a pile of groceries. The end. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.